Alright, YouTube, here we go. Mowing this $45 corner lot here. Go ahead, hit the like button so other people can be so this video can be referred to by other people. Hit the subscribe button so you can see me mowing all of these lawns here in Ohio. And hit the bell so you can hear me on the regular. Alright, I'm gonna jump into it. Corner lots always been a lot harder for me to bid. The regular lots on the street is kind of easy. I could just kind of go on the satellite on my phone and just kind of just drop down from the satellite and I usually could just give them a call right back the same day. Sometimes I could look on the satellite on my phone and give them a price like while they still on the phone. I go to Google Maps and just put it on the default mode and drop down and see what size it is, and then I put it on the I forget what the other mode is called, but you can actually see the trees and the turf and grass and stuff. And I give them a quick price. But these corner lots, you got to pull up on the corner lot to really see what it's hitting for. I mean, I could price a corner lot by going on my satellite too. I can. The one thing I learned about corner lots is usually about 6 times more trimming than it is on a regular lot on that same street. Sometimes 6 times more trimming at the least. And this is from years of measuring these yards, measuring the trimming. And when you price a corner lot, you're not just pricing the turf. The turf might be double the turf of a regular lot that you charge on that same street. It might be triple the size turf. And you might be charging more by the turf, but the one thing not to forget about on these corner lots is it's going to be a minimum of 6 times more trimming. And I don't know about y'all, but like, trimming is more laborious to me. When I'm up on my, unless you got like a walk behind or something, or a push mower. But for me, I'm up on this lawnmower just right. I'm on my stand-up on mower, so I'm on my stand-on mower. So this part that I'm doing right now is not too laborious. I mean, I'm just basically riding around pretty much. But to do 6 times more trimming and not to take that in consideration when you bid in a corner lot is a mistake. In corner lots, people tend to think that for some reason, I don't know what it is about corner lots, but people think that people always be shocked at how much I charge. I tell them when I'm cutting a corner lot. This corner lot right here, I charge $45 for it. It's at the end of the season, one of my last cuts, and I'll be honest with you, if this would have been spring, I probably would have said about 50 or 55 if I would have had a full schedule. But I went on ahead and got it together for the 45, just because it's not very much work to do right now. That price could definitely go up in the springtime. If she let me cut it often, like maybe every week or every 2 weeks, I might leave it at 45 though. But anyway, yeah, corner lots are just a little bit, to me, harder to, it's a lot harder for me to bid these because, like I said, the 6 times more trimming is 6 times more blowing on a corner lot. I mean, but every corner lot is different, just like every yard is different. So just because a corner lot might be twice as big on one corner, literally that adjacent corner, that corner lot could be so big, it could be big as a field. It could be 5 times bigger. So with corner lots, they just up in the air. This is no cookie cutter corner lot. You really can't judge them by the other lots that's on the street. So it is what it is. And you just saw the turf on this. For the most part, this is the backyard. For the pros out there, if you would be so kind to leave a comment and say how much you would have charged for this corner lot, I really would appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the people who trying to get some game in the comments would appreciate your expertise and your input on how much you would have charged for this corner lot and why. Also, if you want to leave a comment on what type of mower you would have used on this, I would appreciate it too. But yeah, it's like, corner lots was one of my biggest things that I would research when I first started in the lawn business. I did so much research on how to bid corner lots, and there's literally no information, none, out there about corner lots for some reason. Like, it's just, in the lawn care community, it's just not a topic that people talk about for some reason. I guess because they just look at it like it's just another yard. But it kind of is, but it's not. It's a lot more to a corner lot than a regular lot. It's certain, it's a lot more trimming. So if it's 6 times more trimming, do you add on, the price? Do you price it and factor in the fact that it's 6 times more trimming? Do you leave the price down a little bit because it's a bigger yard? The bigger the yards get, do you charge less money? I mean, not saying like, obviously not less money than a smaller yard, but as the square feet go up in yards, do you take down your price a little bit? And I'm asking that for myself. If you want to leave a comment down in the comment section saying, just in general, not necessarily on corner lots, is the bigger the yard you have, the less money you charge? I mean, do you give them a little more of a discount because the yard is so much bigger? And I would think that you would. And the reason behind that would be because you cutting more grass, but you don't have to pack up and drive to the next yard to cut more grass. I mean, I guess that would be the philosophy of why you would charge less money for bigger yards. And by the way, I'm weed whacking this with one arm right now. That's one arm action right there. And Yeah, I mean, like a lot of research that I've done, I mean, people, as the yards get bigger and bigger, they charge less. In my market, I don't really cut huge yards as far as like acres go. So I don't use that pricing method. Like I don't just because a yard is bigger, I might charge a little bit less for square feet. And I'll be honest with you, the bigger the yards, the more likely they are to um not accept my bid, because I charge as if, you know if it's twice as big as the yard next door, I'm going to charge you twice the money. I'm not going to give you a little a price, I guess a discount because your yard is bigger or more trimming or something like that. And I typically don't get as many bids for the bigger yards, but that's okay to me. I rather, if that's not my sweet spot, then I'm not going to try to, you know, I'm not going to try to build on my weaknesses. The way I run my business is I build on my strengths. And if my strengths is little tiny yards, and that's where I'm getting all the profit, and that's where I'm getting all my bids, and my setup is perfect for that, then it is what it is. Then I'll just keep on advertising the small tiny yards. I don't try to change my business up a little bit to fit my weaknesses in there. I take my weaknesses and I step on them like they little bugs. All my little weaknesses, I don't try to nurture the weaknesses. I get rid of the weaknesses. I turn my back on the weaknesses. I take my strengths and I just capitalize on them, and I just dominate where I'm needed, where my setup is king at. You have to find where you are the king. You got to find this, with your setup, you got to find where you king at. Don't go, trying to advertise and make accommodations for the customers that's not your ideal customers. If they're not your ideal customers, I mean, you can still give them a price. If they still, you could try to still give them a price and see if they'll roll with it. But if they're not willing to roll with it, then there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta, just kind of duplicate, always be trying to duplicate or clone your best customers. Think of your best customers. Like what size yards, what area of town, the method of payment, everything like that. Think of your very, very best top 10 customers. Who are they? Maybe even write them down. And then think of your lowest worst customers. The bottom 10% of your customers. Right? And what you want to do is you want to try to replace those bottom 10 customers, the bottom worst type of customers that's not your ideal customers. You want to try to replace them with people who are like your top 10, your top 10%, your top 10 customers. You want to try to clone those customers and then make room in your business for those next 10 customers to be on your schedule. But the only way you can put those next 10 good customers on your schedule is to get rid of those bottom 10 customers or whatnot. And that's just my perspective of like my business. And here's this yard here. I'm just giving you just a view of it again after I've cut it already. This is it. So if you want to leave a comment on how much you would have charged for this yard right here, I would appreciate it. That's the property line where my finger's at, where I stopped cutting at right there. Right where that wooden gate ends at right there. All the way to the street. All of this grass here, that whole tree line there, all the way to the driveway. Here's the backyard again. Like I said, I charged $45. Like and subscribe. Peace.